Hello! In this video we are going to see how to include a reference section or bibliography section in LaTeX. Let's say we have an article or a report or maybe a book, and we want to specify that some information that is in this text comes from different works. There are three main ways of including a reference section in LaTeX. We're going to see here the basic LaTeX bibliography or reference section. In this way, we're going to manually include the information about each item to be referenced and also the location or the placement of this reference section. So let's say we want to include this reference section right in the end of our document. So right here before the end document section, we want to include the commands for this reference section. The first command that we'll need is the bibliography style, and there are many options for these styles, but let's start by the plain style for bibliography, so we'll put it like this. Second, we need to begin a specific section which has the name the bibliography, like this. So this is a reserved word for LaTeX that says that this section is the bibliography or the list of references that we want. So as we begin it, we need to end it as well, like this. And in between these begin and end the bibliography, we will issue some commands to include the items that we want to reference later. And for each item, we will use the command bibitem, and inside curly braces we'll give a label to it, which is something similar to what we used for figures, sections and equations. And after the braces we'll put the information itself about the item. So let's say, for example, that we have a book from this author, and the title of the book is something like this. We might also include the publisher and maybe the year that it was published, something like this. So as I said, all this information is put manually by us, so it's up to you to choose the format of the author name and the way the title is going to be displayed and whatever other information you might want to include in this item. So now we need to put a label for that. We will need to define this label. We usually use the name of the author and the year that it was published, something like this. Remember that whatever word we want to use in here, we will use that to reference to this item later. So we can start including many other items or all the items that you will need. For each one you use the bibitem command, a label and the information about this item. So for example, I can include another journal paper from these authors. It has this title from this journal, and we might also want to include the year that it was published. And this is the label that I chose for that. Another thing that we need here in the begin the bibliography is to give LaTeX a rough idea of how many items we have in this list of references. So let's say between 1 and 9 items we can just use the number 9. Between 10 and 99 items we can just use the number 99. Once we have all these items laid out here, we can start referencing them in the main text. So let's say that this piece of information here came from that first item that we chose. We can reference it here by using the command cite, and inside the curly braces of the command cite we'll put the label that we chose for it, something like this. If, for example, this second piece of information came from that second item, we can as well use the command cite and the label that we used for the second item. So just for us to remember, the label is right here in the bib items, the label that we chose for each specific item. So let's see how that looks in the text that we have. You see that the first time you build your PDF, it will come with a weird question mark here, and that happens because we have to run it twice. So in the second time you build your PDF, after you include the cite commands, you will see that comes the number inside square brackets for your items. And in the very end here we have a new reference section listing all these items that we have. So the number of the items comes sequentially in the order that we put them here, and these numbers are used for us to reference these items in the main text. So let's say maybe this other piece of information actually came for both authors. We can put something like this, and we'll update our PDF, and you'll see that automatically it will include the numbers for this author and the number for this author or these works in your cite command, and it will look like this.